you better wait here. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Even 10 minutes is a long time to be away from you.
Hello, everyone. I'm back from a show that I finished about 30 minutes ago. So really on the go today. But guys, welcome to iTie, which is Indie Time interview edition. So I interview basically video game developers that makes indie games, which is my favorite show, honestly, my favorite show of my channel. So welcome, everyone. I do appreciate you all coming here. What's special about this show than other interviews? There's just the one thing, and you might have guessed it, but it is that I wear a tie. Yes, today I am wearing my controller tie, and I enjoy it because it has a little plus. So it means that there's lots of controllers together. It's a Super Nintendo controller, I think, and really enjoy it. But guys, before we show who we're interviewing today, let's go have a look at the chat. We've got Granite, who says that he's first. Welcome, my friend. We got Zarina. I'm number 2. Well, I don't know if you should be proud of that, but yeah, you're number 2, sure. Yeah, I guess you got it. Hey, we got Danu in the chat. Welcome, Danu. We've got a good friend here coming in to talk to, so it's going to be a fun time. Make it so. Hold on while I make some tea. Earl Grey, hot, very nice. I do like some tea. Very relaxing drink. Earl Grey is great. Nice. Take your time, Ninja. We're entertaining ourselves with Star Trek references. Oh, really? I had no idea. Awesome. That's awesome. So, granted, we've probably talked about this favorite Star Trek series. Oh, man. Don't try to get me into Star Trek. I don't know much about it. TNG is the closest. Oh, wow. Interesting. Oh, man. Sorry about that. So let me just remove the chat bot. Because this was the messages from my last stream. Sorry, Dano, but I'm not doing a giveaway for this one here. But keep a lookout, because I do some streams with giveaway once in a while. But let me just remove these notifications here. All right. So yeah, we got Serena and Granite. Just keep talking here. Nice tie. Thank you very much. We got John. Welcome, John. Thank you for the tie. John is, if I'm not mistaken, is also a friend of the current person we're interviewing. We'll confirm that pretty soon. And we got Well is someone else that I think that he's familiar with the guy I'm interviewing, but we'll see soon enough. Maybe he is, maybe he is not. No free game, much go. You missed the stream 30 minutes before that. I was giving away 12 games, so maybe next time. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce, the guy of the day, the guy of the week for iTie, the one and only WalGallen. I'm sure that I'm pronouncing your name wrongly, and you've corrected me before, but welcome, Wal, to the stream.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? I'm WalGallen. I'm the main developer, well, the only developer on Kotomasho. And yeah, the pronunciation is, you can just call me Wal if you want, but yeah, it's WalGallen.
Wal.
Like,
okay, gotcha.
I don't know what I can use an example, but yeah, it's
Perfect.
WalGallen.
Yeah.
But
Wal like
you
a
can
wall,
call me
right?
Wal.
Like a wall you knock on, or yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I'll try to remember that. So Wal, we did interview you before on another game called Mistlight, which is since then, for the people that don't know, the Kickstarter was successful, so congratulations on that. And now you're on to another project that we're working simultaneously. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on the questions, my friend. So we already know a little bit about you because of the interview. So we interviewed you for Mistlight, but so instead of asking you questions about you, since we know a little bit, let's learn a little bit about other things. So Kotomasho is not part of the same development team as Mistlight. So you're the only developer of that game. It's actually a question, but I know it, so I'm just going to say it. What made you want to make this game under a different development team? So by working on yourself.
Okay, so basically, I started working on Kotomasho because I've always worked on 2 projects simultaneously, like one with Etherlight and one on my own. And I was getting kind of burnt out with the previous project that I was working on. And I've always wanted to make a Zelda-like game, and especially a top-down game. So one other thing that I never tried out was participating on a game jam. And I don't know why I suddenly got like the urge to participate on one last year. And yeah, I just participated and Kotomasho came to life. Basically, that's like the short version.
Man, the game jam helps out on so many new projects. It's really amazing. So including your game, like I've played the demo and it's pretty good. I'm so happy, you know, that it became a real full project and you're working with that. So so we've learned that you're developing this game alone. Do you get external help out of anyone, or do you really do everything like on your own?
The only thing that I get help from is localization. I'm getting help right now from a person with the Japanese localization, but otherwise I do everything on my own, except I guess like John in the chat, Cheesy, who is also the lead artist on Mislight, on Etherlight. He sometimes gives me pixel art advice and stuff because he's like the senior pixel artist in Etherlight. So yeah, I guess he's like, I don't know how to say it, like the consultant kinda. So yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, you get some help, not really in the game, but more like in training of, you know, how to do it yourself. So I like that. I like how you decide to do you know, everything on your own. It's very cool. I think you're the first person, the first solo indie developer that I'm learning that he's really doing everything on his own, other than the localization, of course. But so that's pretty impressive for sure, because you're doing the music, you're doing the art, you're doing the programming, which is yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I think we already went with the other question. So I'm asking here, how did Kotomasho started? When did you start working on the game? So that was for the game jam. So let me ask you instead, how did you get that idea? How did you get the idea of the story?
Okay, this is a complicated question because it came from a ton of places. But basically, at the time of the game jam, I was, like I said, I was working on another game, which is it's kind of the game that I want to make one day. Like it is my dream game, and I made a whole universe around that game. So I kind of wanted to make something that is related in the same universe, and that's one of the sources of the inspiration. Then the other one, at the time I was watching a ton of VR chat streams on Twitch. So I don't know, I found very interesting and very funny how there was a ton of dudes who loved dressing us as hot demon women, like I say in the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just found it super funny and super interesting. So I said to myself, what if I made a game about a dude who actually transforms into a woman?
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's funny because I think the most funny thing is that the guy like has no love of magical girl. Like I feel like he doesn't know anything about them, and he just suddenly turns into one, and he's just like, what the heck am I? Like, how am I supposed to do things? You know, like, oh wow, I can attack now. I guess magical girls attack. So I like that idea. It's very funny, and it's like you know, a 90s comedy show where like, oh, you know, this guy turns into a carrot and now he's like, you know, trying to live his life as a carrot. Well, now, you know, it's the life of a magical girl now that's happening, and I love it. When you explained Kotomasho to me, I think either off stream or during the stream of the interview, and when you explain it, for some reason I imagine like something like Power Ranger. Like I completely did not think of something like that. So it really surprised me, and I'm really attracted to it just because of how silly it is, you know. So Okay, so we started talking about Kotomasho already, and I'm excited. So Kotomasho is actually a Zelda-like adventure that looks like it comes straight out of the original Game Boy. Looking at the colors, but it's a very strange setup, like we just talked. But can you talk a little bit more about Kotomasho, just what the game is in general?
Okay, so it is kind of a Zelda-like game, but not really. I was heavily inspired on Zelda. It has a ton of Zelda-like elements, like for example the dungeons and kind of the design of stuff of some of the pixel art. But yeah, I wouldn't call it like a true Zelda-like because I added like an RPG leveling up system, and I was inspired on Metal Slug. With I don't know why I always liked the fact that Metal Slug gave you weapons by dropping them like randomly and you basically getting them and using them. So I just wanted to add that to the game, and that's why there's tons of powers like all over the world. And yeah, I also got heavily inspired by anime. Of course, anime is like probably the main inspiration for this game. So yeah, those three games and anime, I would say are my main inspirations. And yeah, I mentioned that you kind of have these dungeons like Zelda-like dungeons, but I also wanted to add the procedurally made dungeons. So you have, if you like roguelikes, you have those kinds of dungeons for you to explore and stuff. But also, if you like more handcrafted stuff like Zelda, you can just go in the design dungeons, the handcrafted dungeons, and have fun there. Also, I don't know, it's interesting to me because it wasn't exactly on purpose, but it seems like people just like the miniature overworld, like open world that I added to the game. So yeah, people just like to go there and destroy enemies and grind a little bit. So yeah, I wanted to add the like the open worldness without being exactly open world, because I'm not that like I don't have that much experience to make like a true open world, but I made like a miniature open world.
That is cool. Yeah. And I mean, hearing from the feedback, that's good. I mean, you might implement some more things to the game now that people as giving their thoughts, maybe some more open world, and let's hope that people enjoy the full game in general. So we've learned about the game, and you mentioned the dungeons, and I was wondering, I'm not sure how many dungeons there are in the game. I know that there's in the demo. I know that there's at least 2 because I played about an hour and I had 2 dungeons I had to do. But do you know how many dungeons around that you're planning on putting in the final game?
Okay, so right now I have planned 4 handcrafted dungeons, like the more traditional dungeon, like Zelda-like dungeon. But I also have planned another 4 procedurally made dungeons, at least. Wow. There might be 1 more of each, but yeah, that's undecided at the moment.
Wow.
So at least like 8 dungeons technically.
Oh, that's perfect. So the procedurally generated dungeon, can you tell me how they work? Because now I'm curious, because I remember when I started the game, it explained that it had that. But when I die, I know where I'm going. It's still the same path, and I still go at the same place. But how are they procedurally generated exactly?
Okay, so I designed the rooms. Like there's, I think, like 8 rooms, like eight normal rooms with enemies to defeat. But there's also like 8 predefined rooms of puzzles. Oh. And the RNG is only the positioning of the room. So it's not like 100% procedural, but the shape of the dungeon or the layout of the dungeon is what changes.
That makes a lot of sense. So if I start a new game, I can't use my muscle memory to know exactly where I need to go, because the rooms might be in different locations. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. So let's jump into one of my favorite section here. So you've made the music of the game. What kind of inspiration did you had when you made some of the songs? Because this game sounds nothing like Miss Light. It's like completely different. So I'm very curious.
So there's a ton of inspirations for the music. For example, the song that plays when you are a NEET on the first cutscene, when you go from the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can remember that scene.
Yeah.
That song, I was like heavily inspired on Animal Crossing.
Oh,
I wanted
really?
to make I wanted to make like if anyone here has played Animal Crossing, there's these songs at night, like at midnight, that I love those songs. So I just wanted to have that chill, like night, like Pacific, like music for that specific scene. So yeah, Animal Crossing was a huge inspiration for that song. But for example, for the town song, the first town that appears in the game, I was heavily inspired in general music from RPGs like Final Fantasy or Pokemon and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to have that town-like feeling. And I don't know, for the dungeon, for the first handcrafted dungeon, I just was heavily inspired on Zelda.
Yeah.
Like the cave songs, the Goron music, more or less.
Yeah.
So yeah, my inspirations are all over the place.
That is cool though. That means that you get different kind of genre basically per per sections that you go. I enjoy that. I didn't thought I didn't have Animal Crossing in mind when I played in the town. So I'll have to, not in the town, but at the beginning where you come out as a 7-Eleven. I'll need to start the game back and listen to it again, because it seems very interesting. Because I have some songs in mind during the nighttime of Animal Crossing, and I want to compare, between it. It's going to be pretty cool. So the game is coming on Steam. Do you have an estimated date to when the game will come out? So right now you have a Kickstarter to plan it out, which we'll be talking about later in the interview. But I was wondering if you already had a date in mind.
Well, my goal is to have it finished before the year end, like December maybe, to release the first quarter of next year. That's my goal. Hopefully I can make it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically my goal. First quarter of 2024.
That's not bad at all. Like we don't have to wait a long time, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. I've put some. So guys, by the way, we will get to some Kickstarter question, but I have the link of the Kickstarter in my description below. Have a look at the game if this is something that interests you, and give WoW some support. He did not achieve his goal yet, but it's very close. So go check it out. I definitely put some money in because it's definitely a game that I like to play. But we know that it's coming on Steam, but is there any chances that you'll bring the game on other platforms also?
Hopefully, yes. I've been a console gamer my whole life, so it is my dream to have my games on console. It is a little bit harder, but yeah, I'm gonna do my best to bring as much games as possible to consoles.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really hope so. And if it would gain enough popularity to have a physical edition, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I really hope that it happens to you.
I would cry if that happened.
Oh, I need to see that for sure. I'll give you a call and yell out of excitement with you. So the demo is out now, guys. You can have a look. I also have a link in the description below if you want to have a look at the demo. Super polished. I don't have a really good graphic cards, but no lag or anything. So it's amazing. It's showcasing the introduction of the game. I've played about an hour, if not more, actually. I need to finish it though. I'm pretty sure I'm almost at the end. But what exactly have you included in the demo, WoW? And how did you decide where to end it?
That was pretty simple actually. At first, for the game jam, I added the whole prologue, which is like
Oh.
the first 15 minutes of the game, kinda. And for the full demo, I wanted to add the whole first chapter. So yeah, that was one of the first decisions that I took when I made the game. So yeah, the demo is the full prologue and first chapter of the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I finished the prologue, I was like, yeah, I'm done. That's it. And then, oh, no, it's chapter 2, chapter 1. And no, that's amazing. There's just, a lot to enjoy. You definitely, if you finish the demo, you can definitely know if it's a game that you like or not, because it's so bulky. There's so much stuff, so many enemy types, so many weapon types that you can use. So there's just a lot. And, the story is also very polished. There's a lot of story, which is also nice, and it's a very light story where it's very funny. So it's not the kind of story that you get really deeply involved in, but that's what's nice about it, is you can just casually play it and enjoy the story and have a quick laugh. So it seems like the perfect game to play on the go, right, with the Game Boy aesthetics and stuff. So you think that I would love to play it on portable. Do you know if the game is going to be playable on Steam Deck when it comes out?
I'm not 100% sure, since I haven't checked the whole Steam Deck stuff, and I don't have a Steam Deck right now, so I can check for myself. If I get the chance to get a Steam Deck or to rent a Steam Deck, I think some people give it as for rental.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I can, because I'm also heavily. I said earlier that I was a console gamer, but specifically I'm a handheld gamer. My first console was the Game Boy. So yeah, I don't know why I love handhelds 10 times more than consoles. For example, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the DS, the PlayStation Vita, the PSP, all those consoles, the Switch. I love them. I love playing, laying down on my bed and just playing games. So hopefully I can get a Steam Deck and I can get Kotomasho to run on Steam Deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally relatable to that. For some reason, just the feeling on being on the couch and not looking afar, just looking at your screen and playing is just it's just a fun feeling. I don't know why. Just something that triggers in our brain for some reason. I'm gonna ask if someone would be willing to help out with the Steam Deck, you would transfer your game to his Steam Deck so he can test it out. Would you be open to do that?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't know how it would work, because I guess I would have to be logged with my Steam dev account. But
yeah.
I don't know how it would work.
I think that you would need to create a beta version of the game and then give them a Steam key, and then they would access it, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, so yeah, I would 100%, yeah.
Awesome. So anybody, if you really want to play this game on Steam Deck, just get a hold of Wal. He's on Twitter. Also, not to promote my description, but Wal's Twitter is also in my description, so have a look at that. You can get a hold of Wal. He's very responsive. If you have any issues with the game, any feedback, he's always there to listen to them. So definitely have a look. So let's talk about the demo. So we talked about the title, right? Wait, am I at the right place? Oh no, sorry. Okay, yeah. So we're still talking about the demo. There you go. So the game has some cool features such as color palette change and augments. I call them augments, but you know what I mean, like the weapon switching.
Yeah.
You can you tell us what kind of augments you can get in the demo, and if there are other augments that are planned for full release? My bad. Well, what I meant by augments is I think there's a section in the menu where you can actually switch some special powers.
The modifiers.
Yeah, the modifiers. There you go.
Yeah. Right now you can get every single modifier in the demo, because I didn't unlock them, so you can literally get every single modifier right now if you grind it. But you can get like, so for example, something to double the amount of XP you get, and something to reduce the amount of XP you get. The power, like double your power, half your power, double your resistance, half your resistance. Yeah, like basic stuff like that. And to be honest, I'm not planning on adding too many of those, so I might not add more for the full game. There's like, I think like 10 to 20 right now on the demo. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with those unless I get a cool idea to add more.
Okay, well, that's perfect. I mean, there's quite enough. I didn't know that you could unlock them all in the demo, actually, so that's pretty cool. I've only saw one, like the one that you can buy at the shop, and then I thought, oh, that's all you can buy, and you can buy the rest later on. But I'm gonna have to. It's like kind of like achievements now. Like I'm gonna have to find a way to unlock them all. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so yeah, let's talk about the Kickstarter now. So it's currently live. Like I mentioned, it's in the description. It's ending in about like 4 or 5 days, guys. So you better check it out before it ends. So what made you the decision in making a Kickstarter for the game?
So this game is like, I'm making it on my own, so that's hard as it is. But also I kind of went overboard with it, like the complexity. So yeah, this is a game that will take me. I've been working on it for a year already, but yeah, like I mentioned, this is gonna take me like another whole year to make, and I don't have like a full-time job technically right now. I work with Etherlight, which pays the bills sometimes, but yeah, no, I don't have like a proper full job, so I'm kind of looking for working full-time on this.
That would be amazing.
And, yeah,
I hope that it happens. So well, I mean, I just showed the Kickstarter, but what is your funded goal for the Kickstarter? Let's have a look.
So it's 160,000 pesos, Mexican pesos, which translates to, I think, $8,000. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And then we have, I think it's like close to 12,000 in Canadian. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, I think we are like at 60% or something.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the last stretch. So when a Kickstarter starts, you get the most money at the beginning and you get the most money at the end. So I'm really crossing my fingers. Like $5,000 is not a lot. Like it can be done. So I really hope that it happens. Now, if the Kickstarter is funded, what type of stretch goals do you have planned out?
Oh, I have some cool ones. For example, I wanted to add like the classic beach episode. Like every good anime has to have like a beach episode. So I wanted to add that to the game. There's also animated cutscenes. I really want to add. I want it to be like very anime, so I wanted to add animated cutscenes, like an anime intro, the classic anime intro, for example. And of course, make the game way bigger than it is already, because at first I wanted the game to be like a 12 episode anime, like literally 12 chapters in the game.
Wow.
But yeah, I had to cut down a lot of it because otherwise it would take me like 5 to 10 years to make the game. So yeah, I had to cut a lot of it. So that's that's two of the stretch goals to expand the game.
That is cool. And
yeah,
if it's successful, you could always expand those episodes into a sequel. Or well, how did you handle that? Well, like did you like compressed it all into the game anyway with the story, or did you cut out a few episodes for maybe a later game?
No, I had to cut down like completely the episodes. I still haven't. I didn't write them, so yeah, it wasn't that much of an issue. But I'm gonna say one thing, like spoilers for the whole universe that I'm building. this story is kind of a prequel to
Ooh.
the other game that I was making and that I'm still making. So yeah, I don't think I will make a sequel for this game because it's just like it's literally like the prologue for the whole universe.
That's cool. So this is part of your actually big universe that you're working on then. Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. So we might see references from a whole bigger game that we'll be seeing in the future. I like that idea. That's amazing.
You
Now,
actually get you get like the Easter egg and the presentation for the full universe in at the end of the first chapter.
oh
So at the
man.
end of the demo.
Now you gotta make me finish the game this weekend then. I have to look at that for sure. So, can you tell us what type of pledge the supporter can get if they want to support?
Yeah, the pledges are the standard ones, like get the game, get the soundtrack, get the art book, become a producer, Discord role, your name in the credits, design an enemy, design the boss, like the basic stuff. I didn't want to make like physical stuff because it takes a ton of work to do that and it is extremely expensive. I think if I were to make a Kickstarter that requires a ton, like way more money to be funded, I could make it happen. But for this kind of Kickstarter, I don't think it is possible to have physical stuff. It is. I heard it's very, very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And difficult.
I think the physical stuff, especially for a small, project like that, it's better to create have something where you have like 100 or 200 plushies, and if you reach the goal of selling 200 plushies, then you can make it. So that way you don't lose money and you don't lose products and it's all there. So if the demands are there, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to get a plushie of the NEET guy. I mean, that would be pretty awesome. That's amazing. All right, so my next question is, you know what? I completely skip a part, but that's great because this is my favorite part. But I'll say it later. If the Kickstarter does not reach the goal, will you still try to release the game?
Yeah, 100%. I need to finish this game. Like, this is a game that I'm 100% determined to finish. That's also why I had to cut down some stuff from it. Because I really, really, really want to finish this game. I have it out.
That's
so yeah,
awesome.
I'm 100% doing it.
That is great. I'm always happy to hear that. Because like there is some supporters out there. There is some people who's gonna buy the game because it looks so fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Even though if the Kickstarter doesn't work, at least it's putting the game out there, more advertisement, and it's out there. All right, well, we're gonna jump into my favorite part. So we have to talk. So I have a whole section about this. We have to talk about the title. So the full title of the game is actually Kotomasho. I can't believe this NEET guy turned into a magical girl. That's the whole title. It's so long. I've never seen a long title like that. So how did you come up with that title, honestly?
So like you have probably guessed, I'm like a weeb, like a big weeb. Like I love anime. And one thing that I've always loved about anime is there's like a couple, or well, yeah, no, not a couple. There's like a lot of anime that have extremely ridiculously long titles.
Really?
For example, yeah, like I think the last one that I watched that I can think of is Konosuba. I don't know the whole title of Konosuba, but yeah, it's like an extremely long title, but they abbreviated. For example, like Konosuba, the abbreviation is Konosuba, and in the case of Kotomasho, the abbreviation is Kotomasho. So the actual title is I Can't Believe This NEET Guy Turned into a Magical Girl, and the abbreviation is Kotomasho.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, that's basically the answer. I just love ridiculously long titles in anime, so I just wanted to make fun of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, it's a good way to attract people. Like, I saw that title and I was like, I'm sold, you know, like it explained exactly what the game is. Like, that's the story. It's a neat guy that turns into a magical girl. First fun, I just searched it up. Konosuba's full title is God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Legend of Crimson. That's quite the title. That's crazy. Jack the Slip. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the 10 coffees. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much, Jack. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since we've talked, but really appreciate your donation. It's amazing. Thank you for your support. All right, let's continue with Kotomasho. I can't believe this neat guy transformed into a magical girl. So did the length of this title give you a hard time in some implementations because it was too long, like Steam or Kickstarter?
Not on Steam, but on Kickstarter definitely, because the title of the project is like the URL for the campaign. So every time I wanted to share it, for example, on Twitter, where I have limited amount of characters, yeah, I didn't have enough characters.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think I had issues with some pages that didn't show the full title. Like, for example, itch.io, it doesn't show the whole title, so I just have to shorten it to just Kotomasho. So yeah, Kotomasho is technically the title I use officially for everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. At least you got a backup plan, right? You've got your subtitle that you can use for the game. So that's good at least. I'm looking for the sequel, right? It's going to be like, Kotomasho, I can't believe this neat guy turned into a magical girl. Revenge of the guy who turned into a demon, you know, like, or something like that.
Yeah, that's the movie for sure.
Awesome. So I got a good question here for you. If you would turn into a magical girl, what would be the first thing that you'd do?
I mean, it depends, right, on what kind of power I have. Yeah. But I guess like the easy answer would be like fly somewhere, like just go around flying somewhere, maybe go to Japan flying. I don't know, if I were a magical girl, I would hope I would have ice powers. Like, I love the ice element, so every time I think of myself having powers or something, I have like ice powers. So if I were a magical girl with ice powers, I would make it snow.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
Not more snow in Canada, man! Don't do that to us.
Yeah, I've never seen snow because where I live, there's not snow at all. Like, I think it is impossible to snow here.
Oh wow!
The closest thing we have is hail. I think I've seen hail once, but yeah, I've never seen snow.
Oh,
so I would do that.
That's crazy. But I'm just kidding. I actually really like snow, so keep it coming. I hope that someday you can travel and see snow, because it's amazing. It's really a cool feeling having to play around with snow, for sure. But it's interesting. So when you're a magical girl, the first thing you want to do is figure out what your power is, right? Like you want to use that power as best as you can. So if you do, I hope that you go crazy with some snow. All right, so for fun, I'm doing something a little bit different here, and I didn't have time to completely work on this question, but we're gonna go into quick reflex questions, and let me try to think about them quickly before I say that. So I'm gonna ask you 5 questions, and you have to answer them as quickly as possible, just to learn a little bit more about you.
I would be horrible at that. I'm very indecisive.
Let's see what happens. What's your favorite anime?
Cardcaptor Sakura.
Oh wow! What's your favorite JRPG?
Pokemon.
What is who is your favorite singer?
Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day.
Oh wow, man! Wow, that's amazing. What's your favorite gaming genre?
Rhythm.
What's your favorite console?
GameCube.
Oh, very nice. There you go. So we've learned a little bit more about Wall, and but just out of curiosity, do you have your favorite? Is your favorite handheld what you preferred more than your favorite console?
Well, that's interesting because I love the GameCube, but I would say as a console, it is not my favorite. But the games on the GameCube, well, actually, now that I think about it, I wouldn't even say that GameCube is my favorite.
Oh, okay.
I think, like, as a console, probably the Switch is my favorite right now because it has almost every single franchise that I love. Otherwise, I would say probably the PlayStation Vita.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And yeah, for the games, I would say I don't know, like DS, because
Okay.
DS had a ton of games that I love as well, and also the Switch and the Vita. So yeah, overall, I really prefer handheld stuff, like 100%.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, if you had to give up one, right, it would be definitely console, and
Yeah.
I approve with that. So, guys, I just have one more question for Wall. So, we're gonna open up the questions for him if you have any right after that. So, is there any indie projects, Wall, that you'd like to shout out at the moment? Any indie friends?
Well, the first one that comes to mind is Unbeatable, which is a rhythm game that has like kind of like Studio Trigger, kind of like fully cooly style in the animation department. I fell in love with the trailer because it is animated, like it is literally like an anime, like a Studio Trigger anime.
Cool.
And the music is awesome. So I love Unbeatable. I'm very excited for that one. If I could shout out, there's too many indies right now that I could shout out.
I know, right?
But the other one that comes to mind is Maple Forest, which is also like a Game Boy Color styled Zelda-like. That one looks very cool, and the developer is a very cool guy as well. He helped me a little bit for the Twitter stuff. So yeah, I would definitely shout out Maple Forest.
Maple Forest. I'll keep that in mind. Hearing the title, I would imagine, like, I'm gonna guess that maybe it's like a Zelda Oracle of Season type of game, but that maybe not. Maybe I don't know. That's the first vibe that I got out of this title.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, to be honest. I haven't played the demo, but I think he is launching the Kickstarter soon as well, so make sure to check that out.
I'll keep a lookout. Thanks for that. So Zarina is asking, what is your favorite game on Game Boy?
I would say it's either Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Crystal, because Pokemon Yellow was the first game ever that I saw. It wasn't the first one that I played. That was Pokemon Blue. But yeah, Pokemon Yellow was the first memory I have of a video game, and me wanting to play a video game was Pokemon Yellow.
Wow.
And yeah, it basically made me who I am. So I would say Pokemon Yellow.
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, you can pick a better game. Like, this game really showcased what the Game Boy could do back in the day. So, amazing game. All right, so I think that we're done with the interview. Hopefully, everyone had a fun time here. We've learned a little bit of the game, and I can't stress enough: support Wall at his game. He's almost done with his Kickstarter. Just last stretch there. Just give him a little bit more support to get this game out and help out, funding and make Wall's life easier, to create the game. So everyone, thank you very much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Stick. What am I talking about? Stay tuned next week for another interview. I'll be announcing it next week, and hopefully you enjoy it. Wow! Before we end, would you like to? Is there anything that you'd like to say before we end?
Not really. You said pretty much everything. Support the Kickstarter, please. There's only 5 days left. Join my Discord. I don't know if you have the link right there. I don't know if it's on the description, but it's fine. But otherwise, you can follow me on Twitter at WalGallen. You can find my website there with every link that you want from any social media. You can follow me. I post updates there. Also, check out Miss Like. That's the other game that I'm working on. That one comes out in a couple of months. So make sure you follow us again on Twitter there. Etherlight MX, I think, is the Twitter. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, guys. I hope that you do all of that, because I surely do. Actually, I'm not on WalGallen Discord, but we do talk a lot on the the Etherlight Discord, though. But with that said, guys, thank you so much for coming in, and see you on the next stream. Have a good one, guys. Bye.